Welcome back, Wargamers. It's been a while. This is Mullen Lave, and I am here back after a long hiatus with a new campaign, which actually isn't all that new. This is actually going to be December 26th, 1941, and this is my resumption of the Jochen Heiden versus GoodbyeBlueSky campaign. As you may already be aware, Jochen needs to let this campaign drop due to an overabundance of time commitments, but he doesn't want to see the campaign end. So he's reached out to me, and I've looked it over. I think he's got something interesting going on here, and I think it's going to be fun. My style and Jochen's style are a bit different. There's going to be some growing pains as I try to fit myself into the setup that he's got for me here, but it does look really interesting. I think what he's got going in Australia in particular is pretty interesting, and I like the way that GoodbyeBlueSky is. It looks like he's holding back. He's holding back, and he's looking to make a counterpunch, and I sort of had the feeling that counterpunch is going to be coming pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to mixing it up with him and seeing if we can get some major battles, maybe in the Java Sea area, maybe off Australia. So anyway, since I'm taking over with this, I thought I might as well just kind of give a state of the campaign update, and by the time this is ready to be put on YouTube, I'll probably have the turn back from Goodbye, and we can go ahead and see the results of the current setup. So, starting over in the Illusions, so this isn't necessarily something I would have done. Jochen sees this as a potential threat vector into the home islands. I do agree with him on that. And for me, I always kind of see the Aleutians as a good submarine base for the Allies. So we took that away from him. And this operation's basically complete at this point. We're doing a little bit of mopping up. But otherwise, it's really just going to be a hold without overcommitting operation from this point forward. So not too much else to say there. We haven't really seen any resistance as far as I'm aware. China, we've got a major push going through to Sian. And I think a lot of this army was originally meant for Chongqing too. So we'll see about that. We may have other plans for it before I go straight there. Chongqing's, I think, going to be a problem. This little pocket of resistance at Peiping is pretty much done for, so we don't expect that to be a big issue going forward. It's my understanding that these units near Chuxian are basically routed and defeated, and they're not going to be a problem, but all these troops kind of moving forward from the Changsha area is something that Jochen's concerned about. So I'm going to be bringing down some troops from the northern area to help deal with this. I'm not too sure what it's going to take on this, because I don't have a very good feel for just how big of a push this is. So hopefully I'll just be able to hold them up on clear territory, use some air supremacy to deal with these guys, force them into making these river crossings or with opposition, although it looks like the horse may be out of the barn before the door was closed in that case. But yeah, so it's a problem, so we're going to be seeing what develops there. Moving over to Burma, we're not quite ready to make that crossing. You can see we've got a whole bunch of units that are consolidating for Molmein. I actually turned this unit around, this RTA division. I would rather consolidate Tavoy and Mergui with that minor unit. I don't really consider the Thai RTA units to be frontline combat units anyways. But other than that, I'll be staying the course that Jochen set there. Moving down to Malaya, this actually looks like it's moving really well. Watching his videos, I noticed that he's been a little bit frustrated with units holding him up along the roads over here. That appears to be resolved. So we've really only got this last roadblock here at Shahore, and then it's straight on to Singapore. And if I can believe what Jochen says, there's not a lot here. I did notice his move at Kuala Lumpur. That was pretty cool. Pretty much got the same result as you'd get from a successful Mersing Gambit without having to do the Mersing Gambit. So good on Jochen there, looking to exploit that success. As he described it, the Philippines are kind of the elephant in the room. There's nothing happening here, and there's really nothing that I can do to change that. We can fill this back in as conquests complete, and we have units becoming available. I understand he's been raiding out of here. I think Iba in particular has been a base for float planes, destroyers, and possibly even cruisers, and that kind of creates a problem in the South China Sea. It's something I'm going to have to be aware of and just keep an eye on. I think a raid on Iba may be in the future if I can scrap a few cruisers together and hit it hard enough for it to be worth it. But even that, I've got to keep in mind that he's going to be flying Catalinas loaded up with torpedoes out of Manila, or similar areas around there. And cruisers make great torpedo magnets, so might not be worth it. But again, something to decide when I get there. We suffered a raid recently. We had ships moving over to Timor that got hit. The 65th Brigade was on board those ships, and they've suffered heavy casualties. It's not going to stop us from getting into Dili since it's empty. These guys obviously aren't going to be able to go on to Kupang, however we're pronouncing it. Most of the ships involved in that have retreated. I think this is one of them. Yeah, this says the 65th Brigade on board. That's about to go down. The sub might finish them off at any time. We've got a few guys working to make their way down here. Maybe sink the sub, maybe pick up some survivors from that ship before it goes down. Other survivors, I believe, have made it to Ambon. Maybe not. None of these guys. Did these guys have any? I thought they did. I could have sworn I saw something saying that these guys had some of those survivors on board too, but I'm not seeing it now. But that's fine. So basically, yeah. Apparently, we got. So again, it's something to keep in mind that we don't really have good eyes down here, and they're raiding out of these areas. The video that he just put out, he lost a light cruiser. I forgot if that was in the Banda Sea or if that was around Horn Island. I believe that this battleship did manage to ambush somebody recently that was trying to raid over here. So at least we've got this locked down a little bit. So again, as long as I'm providing decent air cover and keeping my eyes open, I should hopefully be able to prevent further incursions into the Banda Sea. The problem basically is that the range from here to say Timor, from Darwin to Timor, is so short that he can just put his ships on flank speed and make the trip instantly. So there's going to need to be more surface cover as well for any further operations that far south. So moving over into the Solomons, we're doing really good in this area. Port Moresby's already fallen, major base being built up in Rabaul. That's looking good. The Solomons themselves look like they're not going to be all that important. Between having Port Moresby and having this invasion going on in the New Hebrides and in New Caledonia, we're going to have solid bases up here. So this area isn't going to be the weak link in the chain. No, I don't think anyone's going to be coming through here. One of the most interesting things about this campaign, I think, is what he's doing in Australia. So we've got landings originally taking place probably started at Rockhampton. Isn't that where Japan traditionally lands here, if they do? Yeah, I'm actually not sure where he landed originally. But we're we're pushing south, and we're nearly at Brisbane. So this is looking good. We've got plenty of engineers, plenty of aviation support. So it's looking like we're going to be able to pull this off. We just don't want to go too much further than Brisbane so we don't set off Allied reinforcements. The one thing that's lacking here is recon. So that's something that's going to be one of the first things I'm going to take care of as I'm starting over, or taking over. I don't want to get overcommitted to any of these bases as I'm moving in and then find out there's a whole lot more stuff there than I thought there was. So yeah, we need more recon. We have landings taking place in New Caledonia this turn. Pretty light. I question whether this is going to be enough to take Noumea. Jochen believes that Noumea is essentially undefended right now. We'll see if that's true. I'm not so sure. For the time being, the Kido Butai and all of these units are undetected. So we may have some degree of element of surprise. But from the video that he just posted today, which is about a week old in terms of this campaign, the Kido Butai was recently sighted in the Coral Sea, as were several other units, I think. So not that much of a surprise. In any case, I think the likelihood of us being able to bait out his carriers if they're here is pretty low. Just going back to here real quick, I've been warned to expect significant fighter presence in this area. It's my understanding that B-17 activity is pretty high. I noticed from the video he posted that they're raiding with Hudsons. In that respect, I think we're going to be stretched a little bit thin. Like the number of bombers that we have available for this campaign is pretty good, or this theater, I should say. But right now, I feel like we're stretched a bit thin on fighters. So protecting against bomber raids, as well as providing cover for ships landing with reinforcements, could potentially be an issue. Really impressed with Jochen's speed moving into the SOPAC area. We're getting a lot of little islands right now, so we're going to be consolidating that a little bit, grabbing what we can. Getting Pago this early is a huge deal, I think. Having Canton, I think, is a pretty big deal. And that's giving us lots of great recon going out well into the Pacific. So Fiji's going to be on the agenda, but not quite this moment. I don't think we have anything here that's big enough, so we'll need to move in something to make that happen. And we're also moving south, trying to cut off this reinforcement route going through here. I've noticed that this guy has a major detection on him, so that probably means he's already got significant recon in this area, or significant maritime reconnaissance in this area. It makes it a little dangerous. I think pushing into here, I can expect raids by cruisers, possibly even as carriers, if I'm not careful. But we do want to get something going here, so I probably just want to pick a spot, take all the bases and dot bases in the area, so he just doesn't necessarily know where I'm flying out of. But if I can get recon going all the way down to the map's edge, then it may not be enough to put like a Betty raid on him, but it should be enough for me to have a cruiser force ready to be redirected and take him out. So yeah, it's not looking good for Australia. Well, we can say that much. And the way things are going, if we're going to roll Fiji, I mean, New Zealand might be on the menu too. We'll see how it goes. Jochen's campaign here is really set up for going for that early auto victory. It's very committed to this early expansion. His industrial setup is really geared for that. He mentioned that it was early enough in the campaign that if somebody took over, they could take a different direction. I don't see it that way. I can do some things differently. I will do some things differently, but I think we're really committed to this strategy overall. So I think I'm going to keep driving hard and try to see if I can do what Jochen wanted to do with this campaign without changing it too much. So that's just kind of my overall thought. Yeah, so with that, I'll go ahead and end this here, and we'll pick up with a combat replay hopefully soon. Well, that was quick. GoodbyeBlueSky has the game to me already, so here we go. Combat replay in progress for December 26th, 1941. All right, that's some good news right there. We just we merged the fleet that was damaged before that had the 65th Brigade on board. Of course, here's some bad news. Apparently, we have an unescorted AKL moving towards Tokyo. So, yeah, Pompano's going to get an easy kill here. Yeah, no need to watch that all the way. We know what's going to happen. Oh, we actually got a hit on the Pompano, though, so that's nice. Oh, what have we here? Is that Force Z? Yep, that is Force Z, alright. Holy shit, that did not take long. Well, I guess we know where they are now. Now, if memory served, Jochen was actually covering this task force with a battleship. So did my covering force just not want to do anything here? Yeah, you know, I'm not even going to bother watching this. It's not like our destroyers are going to do a whole lot of damage here. So let's just run it and see what happens. Now the good news is these ships were probably pretty much done unloading. So 1 of 2 officially sunk. And as far as the points totals go, that's going to be obnoxious. Okay, so we weren't fully unloaded, but we were close. So this isn't as bad as it could have been. So I guess maybe the race is on, because I'm definitely going to want to go after these guys, and the KB is nearby. Also, you know, daylight's about to break. Everybody loves night raids. Guessing these guys are flying out of Sydney. Yeah, I mean, if they're damaging zeros, then it might be worth putting some of these guys up at night to disrupt them a little bit. Alright, so that's 3 transports sunk at Rockhampton. Okay, so we knew that was going to happen, and we saved some men. So yeah, good on Jochen for setting that up. Saving some of the 65th Brigade before their ship goes down. Okay, our New Caledonia operation is officially underway. Alright, let's see if we can track Force C before it gets too far away. Looks like we held contact. Alright, what have we here? Looks like another Allied cruiser raid. Yeah, this is another one I'm just going to run through. There's not going to be any need to watch the combat here. And that's the Boise. Okay. Alright, what did we lose here? Oh, this was bad. Yeah, I'm not sure who these guys were transporting, but damn. Alright. Where did these guys come from? Wow. Yeah, I was not expecting these guys to get that far north undetected. So he's probably disbanding into ports we haven't captured. So, yeah, I have all the more reason we need way more eyes down there than we've got right now. It was a priority when I took over. One of the first things I noticed that we didn't have enough eyes down there, and this just makes it even more so. Yeah, little chance for some payback in shallow water there. Alright, we're getting some sightings. Makes me happy. 6 Allied ships. No, that's probably just a false report. Alright, getting a little sweep over Johore. Just want to make sure we can bomb them. Same thing going on here. Who'd we get? I'm a little disappointed that there's no escorts here. I know I assigned escorts to these guys. Alright, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. The thing is, it's probably just a bait squadron. He probably thinks he can cap-trap my buddies now, and he might not be wrong. These guys need escorts. Let's make a note of that. It's my understanding that the AVG is operating up here, so having 70 bombers attack something without fighter escort is not something I want to do. This is more like the way it should be. A few sweeps and then an escorted strike, so little chance of disaster here. Yeah, I remembered to get escorts assigned to the guys flying out of Shenyang or Hankou, whichever base these are coming out of. I didn't notice the strike coming from the east. That's more escorts than I needed. I hope we're at least disrupting these guys. Now, normally, when I play, I don't have units moving in reserve mode, so an attack like this would knock them out of move mode and slow them down. But the way Jochen and GoodbyeBlueSky have been playing, they're moving in reserve mode to prevent that from happening, which actually makes this kind of strike less concerning than more. So I could try to intercept these guys, but I don't know. Might have other things I need the fighters for. Damn. That's not bad for just 3 planes. Yeah, so I wonder where these guys are flying out of. I'll make a quick note on that. Yeah, it's never a good thing when a base you take is already being bombed. Oh, they ignored the escort. Bombs. I know these guys are in torpedo range. Why did they fly with bombs? Gonna lose a 4th transport. It's 2 report of Allied ships at New Caledonia. I mean, I'm still guessing those have got to be false reports. We'll see when the turn's over. I'm pretty much just bombing these guys because they're so close to being dead that we might actually kill them from the air. At least that's my read on the situation. Bombs, or torpedoes this time, please. And once again, they ignore the escorts. Bye-bye. Well, so far I gotta say, Goodbye is winning this turn. Those transports are worth a whole lot more than the ships I'm sinking of his. Oh! Hello! Well, I guess we know where his carriers are. So I believe this is a 3-cruiser task force. I actually just reinforced it with destroyers. was a little worried about leaving them in shallow water with no destroyers, because they had a detection level and there were subs in the area. Alright, so we got VS2, so probably the Lexington. Ouch. VS6, probably the Enterprise. Another Enterprise squadron. He's screwed. Alright, we're gonna lose at least one. Alright, so that's one fighter squadron. Looks like 3 squadrons worth of Dauntlesses and 2 squadrons worth of TBBs. So yeah, that's consistent with 2 carriers. So this is probably Lex and Enterprise. Heavy fires, heavy damage. Oh yeah, that's almost certainly 2 kills here. Kinugas is not going to be much better. So yeah, these are good raids. I like that he's doing them simultaneously, because it means the KB can only respond to one of them. Always hate it when we miss an opportunity to catch a sub in shallow water. Hopefully we can finish these guys off. Oh no, we're not going to finish them off with a bombardment attack. But at least we know we can finish them off. Time for these guys to die. And since they surrender, we do not get to chase them. Let's see how we're doing here. 1-to-1 odds. Ooh, that really didn't go our way. We may need more forces, or at least some rest here. Alright, well, welcome to the party, pal, right? Gonna have to give Blue Sky the win on this turn. We took some major damage to a transport convoy that was landing in Townsville. This looks like what's left of them. Making their way to Rockhampton now. Oof. Yeah, 4C appears to have managed to... or 4C managed to disappear. but they can't be far. They should be around here. Of course, KB's right here. So that, as much as I'd like to go for Lexington and Saratoga over here, I think 4C is going to be the easier target in the short term. We're also getting bombed from Port Moresby, and that looked like it was in line with Horn Island, so that's probably just coming from Darwin. 25? I guess that's probably within some PBY ranges, maybe? Or maybe one of these dot bases? Something to consider. I mean, if it's just the dot bases, I should be able to... well, no. Then I'm just putting myself in a position to be hit really hard. And then the other major raid was over here in the Palos. And that's right, I need to see who was on board that convoy that got hit. God, I hope it wasn't this one. This is a big one. Alright, so it's going to be 84-104 was where this happened. So right here. Shoot, might as well just check for destroyed ground units. Killed December 6th. Yeah, they killed the 5th Base Force. And the 1st SNLF. Damn. Oh, man. Those were our first destroyed LCUs. Oh, I'm off to a great start. Oh, well. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. We can do... maybe we'll do setup for the next turn. Maybe I'll wait for something interesting to happen again. Although hopefully something interesting happens next turn, because I gotta kill 4C. But until then, good hunting in your own games, guys. Thanks for watching.